Okay, so I can, now that I've started the recording, I can officially welcome you to this call. I'm so thrilled to have you all here. It is wonderful. And just because you might want to know this, I know, we're on the call and you see me and we get to talk in the chat and all this is great. Oh, we've got more Pittsburgh attendees here. This is great. So I can see from the chat that, that all of you are here, but I do have a piece of information that you don't have. And I thought that I would share that with you because in these days of social distancing, community is really important. There are, the number just went up. There are 46 of you on this call right now. So, and you know that there are, I was getting messages earlier from people who, I'd love to be there, but I'm going to have to get the recording later. I can't be there live, and we've got more people checking in all the time. We've got 48 people online now. So I wanted you to know that you're part of a big group here. There are a lot of you, and it's not necessarily because you're all so excited about the warm-ups, although I hope you are, but we're a community here. And I wanted you to be able to feel that. And I know sometimes it feels like you're just out there by yourself, but there are a bunch of you here. And I wanted to be sure that you knew that. So, and as you know, there will be, a chance to get this recording because it gets posted all over the place. And, the PDF will be posted with it. You won't miss anything. So, welcome, and we are good to go. Let me see. There's a comment here from Jackie. She says she says it's 7 a.m. where I am, West Coast. I never practiced this early. All right. Well, that's a first time for everything, isn't there? Okay. Well, let's go. And usually I have done quite a bit of practice by this time already for me. So let's get started. We're in C major here for this warm-up. I know it's not an imaginative key, but it's a useful key. So we'll start with that. This particular warm-up, I'll just give you a little bit of a heads up before we start. It's all obviously chords and arpeggios, and it's meant to work on agility, not just on the chords and arpeggios per se. So some of the patterns are a little bit tricky. Whatever we work on hands together, you can also work on hands separately. You will probably find that parts of this are not at all challenging for you, and that's okay, it's a warm-up. But you may find that there are parts that are very challenging for you, and that's great because you can come back and work on them and improve your technical skills as well. All right, so before we dive into this warm-up, let's do something similar to the way we started last time, and let's just warm up one finger at a time. But this time we're gonna give ourselves a chord. So this is a C major chord, my fourth finger on middle C, and then my third finger on E, second finger on G, and my thumb on the C above. So I'd like you to place that. You might not be in the habit of placing a lot of 4-note chords. You might be at that 3-note chord stage. That's fine, but let's try 4 notes for today. And what we're gonna do is warm up each finger on its own. And we're gonna start with fourth finger. So be sure you're sitting straight, sitting properly. I'm sitting a little funny because I'm talking to you off on the side, but I'd like you to just stay relaxed, check your posture. Make sure that you're sitting nice and straight and just play your fourth finger. It doesn't have to be loud. In fact, it shouldn't be. Just think about the full motion of that finger into your hand. Also notice my pinky closes with my fourth finger, yes? Yours should too. It should be nice and relaxed. If your pinky seems to want to do something else, think about your pinky as guiding your fourth finger into your hand. All the way in. As you do this, just check in with the rest of your body. Your feet flat on the floor. Are you sitting on your sit bones? Sitting up nice and straight, using that core to support, right? Relaxing your shoulders. They shouldn't be hunched at all. They should be nice and loose and relaxed. Your head tall. Oh no, I'm facing the window here. It looked like a snowflake. Oh no. All right, let's put that fourth finger back on and let's play thumb. Same idea. Let's have be sure your thumb closes all the way over to your second finger. This might be a new thing for some of you. Your thumb's not used to working at quite such a distance from your second finger, but it should. Remember your thumb's nice and long and it can close. Check in with your posture again. Keep everything nice and relaxed. My thumb's not making the most beautiful tone today, but it'll warm up. All right, let's put that back on. And now just play your second finger. Close it as much as you can. Now this is a challenge. With your fingers on the strings, close your second finger in as much as you can. Don't force it. I don't want you to hurt your finger at all. But it shouldn't close up and it shouldn't move up and away from your hand like that. It should close in. If it doesn't close very far, that's okay. Once again, check your posture. From your feet, being firm on the floor, legs nice and level, sitting on your sit bones, nice tall middle. Does that make sense? Relaxed shoulders. Nice relaxed neck and head. All right, now the weakling of the bunch, that right hand third finger. Once again, you want this to close in. This is a challenge to hold on with 1, 2, and 4. Don't grip the strings. Keep everything nice and loose and relaxed. We're babying your fingers, warming them up gently, not forcing them to do something. So keep that finger nice and relaxed. Close it in towards your hand. What you don't want, again, is it pulling out this way. It should close in toward your hand. It's not going to touch your palm. Don't force that. We don't want to stretch your tendon. We just want to have your finger go in the right direction. And then let's check every finger one more time, once in a row. You don't have to hold on. We'll start with 4, play that once, and then 3, and then 2, and then 1. And loose and relaxed. Ooh, kind of a nice hard callus sound on that thumb. Sorry about that. I'd like to do that one more time, just the 4, 3, 2, 1 thing. And what I'd like you to watch as you do that is that your hand position doesn't change. So for instance, after you play your 4th finger, your hand shouldn't shift back like this. Your hand should stay in one place. Watch my hand for a sec. Your hand should stay in one place as you play each finger. It shouldn't move. Right? So that's what I'd like you to try. I'm just going to be your hand support right here. Close fingers. Last time. Nice and relaxed. Just think about it being the easiest thing you've done all day. And it might be. Ready? Here we go. 4, 3, 2, and then 1. Nice. Now, before we leave that, let's just look at the very first couple measures of this exercise coming up. And we're going to be playing the same 4 notes, C, E, G, and C, but they're an octave higher. And I'd like to just look at those. You're going to start on this C, 2 C's above middle C, and play just with your thumb. I'm letting my thumb play kind of quietly because it's not a pretty sound yet. And then 1 and 2. And then 1, 2, 3. And then 1, 2, 3, 4. Pretty similar to what we just did, only sort of in a chord, right? Instead of one at a time. Let's do that one more time. These are the first 2 measures of our warm-up. The thumb, then 1 and 2, then 1, 2, and 3, all together, and 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, I didn't like that. My notes didn't sound all together. Let's try it one more time. Ready? Here we go. Okay. All right. A little better. All right. Now let's warm up some left hand, okay? So we're going to start the same way we started right hand, but the octave below middle C. So thumbs on middle C, 4th finger, the C below, and then the E and the G. Ready? And we'll warm up some 4th fingers. Now, once again, this is a time to check your posture. Make sure your feet are flat on the floor. I mean, they can be resting on your pedals if you like. That's another, if you have pedals. Be sure it's closing into your hand and your 5th finger as well, right? Pinky should close in. Pinky should out when 4th finger is closed. Pinky, a lot of times it's very easy to hold tension in your pinky, and it's not what you want to do. Like a little Napoleon, your pinky trying to control your whole hand. That's not right. Okay, checking sitting on your sit bones, supporting from your core, shoulders relaxed. All right, let's put that back on, 4th finger, and let's do some thumbs. Okay. close it all the way over to that second finger knuckle. Okay. All right, now let's get some second fingers going. So everything's back on and we're playing second finger. Once again, your job is to close it into your hand. I know you can't see what I'm doing here. I'm a camera crew of me, so I can't move around the harp to show you, but it looks kind of the same as my right hand, closing into my hand. If you can't touch your palm with your second finger, that's fine. But you're trying to close it in and not let it creep out of your hand that way, right? One more second finger. One more. All right, then replace that, and let's try some left hand third finger. Left hand third finger may be the weakest of your fingers. Might not be. It is for me. But once again, pull it into your hand. It shouldn't be sticking out. And don't make it do anything. Don't make it touch your palm if it can't. Just get it going inside. We're teaching it how to work. It doesn't have to be 100% today. All right, now let's do the fingers one at a time from the bottom. Fourth finger, let go, then third finger, then second finger, and then thumb. Nice. We'll do that one more time. And once again, you want to check that your hand doesn't move, right? So that after you pull your fourth finger into your hand doesn't shift back to where you can't replace your fourth finger on that same string anymore. Your hand should stay in the same place for all of those notes. So let's try it one more time from the bottom. Ready? 4, then 3, then 2, then close your thumb over. Boom. All right. And then let's look at measures 3 and 4 of our warm-up, starting with your thumb. So the same notes that we just played, but now in the chord. Okay, so thumb by itself. You're not used to playing your thumb by itself, are you? It's something we should be able to do. All right, so let's do that again. Thumb by itself, then 1 and 2, 1, 2, and 3, then 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, once again, keep your fingers nice and relaxed. Keep your posture. Make sure you're not gathering tension any place in your body. That's not what we want. And make sure that those notes sound exactly together. Gosh, I'm not asking you to do too much at once, am I? Yeah, I know. That's all right. Here we go. Okay, sit straight and let's do this. Thumb, 1 and 2, 1, 2, and 3, and 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, all right. Now, you can put your harps down for a second, shake that out a little bit if you like, and let's talk through the first portion of this exercise. I'll give you sort of a preview of what's here. I'm going to grab a sip of tea. Okay, that's better. Now, so this section is building 4-note chords, trying them in without rolls and then with rolls, and then doing a little descending 3-note chord pattern. And that takes us up through the end of measure 13, the first measure on the 3rd line. So let me show you what's there. We built the chords from the top down. We've already done those first 4 bars. Then we're going to build the chords hands together from the bottom up. The challenge for you may be, maybe you don't have enough strings to do this. If you're working on a really small harp, just do one hand at a time and you'll get enough benefit from this. If hands together is too difficult for you, just one hand at a time is fine. But what we're working on, whether you're working on one hand or 2, is the ability, here I'll show you with my right hand, the ability to play the fingers, replace neatly. Watch, you see how I do this? I close, open, and place, and play almost at the same time. So at the very highest level, this is what you're trying to do. You're trying to get your closing, your placing, your raising or releasing, however you do that, all to work together. The most important thing, at the very minimum, what you want is your fingers to close into your hand and to be relaxed. The idea of a warm-up like this is to get your fingers reminded of how they need to work in the slowest, most relaxed kind of way. All right, that's what we're looking for. So they should be relaxed and they should close into your hand. That's important, all right? And then we're gonna play those chords, that same chord flat, unbroken, and then rolled. By the way, how do we roll a chord? We roll the chord by closing our fingers into our hand in sequence, not by ripping our hand off the strings and rolling it with our hand. It's just playing your fingers one after the other, boom, 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 boom. That's all. All right, and then that would be measure 7. Measure 8 is almost the same chord, different second finger. We now have an A in the second finger. Different chord, different stretch. And then the next measure, the third finger moves up to the F. Same idea, flat and then roll. And then a descending 3-note pattern, just like this. Exactly the same chord pattern, the same spacing between the fingers, but moving down an entire scale. Okay, so we're going to go back to the 5th measure. This is the measure where the hands start working together. And we're going to play this now. Now we'll do it a few times. You're welcome to do just one hand at a time, or you can do both. I'm going to do both, but feel free to just do one. We'll do it a couple times so you get to try both hands at least, okay? So all we start with is 4th fingers on the string, and we're gonna go nice and slowly. My metronome speed that's in my mind, I'm not gonna turn it on yet, is a nice slow sort of 50. We were going a little bit slower even than that, but that's the speed where I sort of have in mind. So we might go a little slower. Here is, I'll count for you and then we'll start. Okay, so we're in measure 5, starting with just those 4th fingers. And I'll give you 4 beats before we start. 1, 2, ready, go. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right. When I screw up like that, oh my goodness, I don't know what I saw. Let's try that again. So sorry. All right, ready, go. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 4. 1, 2. Now rolled. 3, 4. Next chord. 1, 2, and roll it. 3, 4. 1, 2, and roll it. 3, 4. And then left hand is the same as the right hand here. 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. We'll stop right there for now. Okay. First of all, my apologies for screwing up right at the beginning. I don't know what I was thinking or watching or looking at or anything, but okay. So happens. And then I will apologize also for that left hand being really high with all those ledger lines right there. I probably should have been kinder and written that for you in treble clef, but I must have thought I had a good reason not to at the time. I don't know. I would rethink that at the moment. This was from a few years ago, so I might go back and redo it at some point. But the left hand chords, when we get there, are the same as the right hand. So you actually don't have to read both. You just need to read one hand and then have both hands do the same thing. Okay, let's do that one more time again, at least one more time. From measure 5, where the hands start playing together. Once again, if you did one hand last time, try the other hand this time. Or maybe you're ready to do both. Okay, let's give it a shot. So from measure 5, ready, go. 1, 2, 3, 4. Stay nice and relaxed. 1, 2. Check your posture. And 1, and roll the chord. 3, 4. 2 and roll the chord. 4. 2 and roll the chord. 3, 4. Now down the scale. 1, 2, 3, 4. Close your hands. Be sure you're sitting nice and straight, staying relaxed. 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Ah, feels pretty good, yes? Okay, all right. Let's do that one more time. Give you one more shot at it right away, and then we'll start doing the triplets. All right, but we'll take another break, and I'll explain what's coming up. One more time, measure 5. Ready? Go. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, good. Now your hands should feel just kind of nice and relaxed, a little bit warm. Just, you know, I mean, my fingers are still cool, but my hands are feeling warm. Just things have started to move a little bit. That's the right way for them to feel right about at this point in the process. So let's go on. We're going to do these triplets. These are all 3-note chords. And once again, they follow a pattern. Once again, the right hand and the left hand are doing the same thing. So the notes aren't a challenge that way. Let's just take a look at the pattern very quickly so that you can not get tripped up on the notes. Little 3-note triads on C, then skip up to on E, go back down to D, skip up to F, go back down to E, skip up to G. Okay, now here we're going to turn around. So watch this right hand here. 3, 2, 1, then replace to 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, the right hand here, once again on that 4th beat. 3, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. That might be, that's the first little bit of real agility we get in this warm-up. To get that placing nice and clean. Okay, without extra buzzes, without extra fussing around about the placing, just getting those fingers on nice and cleanly is what you want eventually. And so then starting in that measure, measure 17, that second measure, the F chord here, then skipping back down to the D chord, starting on the A, back up to the E, down to the C, back up to the D, skip down to the B, and then a C arpeggio all the way down. Ooh. And 4 fingers on the left hand. Okay? Once again, if this doesn't fit the range of your harp, I mean, even if you have a small harp, you should be able to play this, but you might need to do it up an octave or something. That's fine. That works, right? Okay, so that's the next section in our warm-up. So let's do that. And we'll do that a nice slow tempo still, like 1, 2, about that speed, okay? What you're looking for as you warm up here, ideally we want clean, even placing, but that's an ideal. That kind of thing is what we're looking for. But what you really want to watch for is that your fingers are relaxed and that they close into your hand. You'd love them to place all at once, right? Instead of getting that thumb on at the last second, you really don't want to be, oops, I can't look in the, you don't want that thumb to get on at the last second. You want everything to get on at once. is what you should be doing. But those fingers should be relaxed and close into your hand. You don't have to play this any louder than a mezzo piano. Now you can use a different dynamic level once you're warmed up to work at tone and sound and all that good stuff. Wait, I just got a question from Nancy. When do you place back after you pull the string? Just before you're going to play it again. So my hand is on the string just before I need to play it. And not a second sooner. You can place it earlier, but ideally you'll just place it at the, that moment before you need it. But place all of them at once, place the whole group at once. Okay, so let's do these starting in measure 14 where the triplets start. You can do just one hand if you like, or you can do both. 3, 4, and go. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. Here's that turnaround, so watch this. 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And the big arpeggio down here. 1, 2, 3, 4. And we'll stop right there. All right, let's do it again. I tried to get my left hand out of the way so you could see the right hand turn around because I was afraid if I left my left hand suspended here, you might be right in the path and you might not have seen the turnaround. So I tried to get my left hand out of the way for you. Let's do that same passage one more time. Okay, so this is measure 14. Ready? Ready, set, go. 1, 2, 3, 4. It's a pretty little pattern, isn't it? 2. Close your fingers. Keep them nice and relaxed. When you're working on your own, you can take your own tempo. Watch this turn around. 1, 2, 3. Let's close those fingers into your hand. Okay. That in itself is a nice little warm-up. And of course, that's what you can do with any of these, right? You can break these into sections and do just a part of it if that's what you want to do. And you can do them more like technical exercises after you're warmed up at any different tempo or any different dynamic level or in any different key. So those are all good ways to practice this. So, and she said, what does Nancy say? What was the metronome tempo for that, please? It was someplace under 50. I mean, I think, 50 is kind of a reasonable tempo, but I think it was a little under that, maybe about 48. So something nice and relaxed. Now here, the 16th note, this is the agility pattern because what we're doing is just playing, okay, that up and down little arpeggio, not a big deal, 3, 2, 1, 2, 3. Well, except that because of those notes at the end of the arpeggio, we're going to switch the fingering. So the fingering for each of these groups, for this all the way through whatever measure that is, 26, except for the last line, right? 3, 2, 1, 2, 4, 2, 1. So the agility factor here really comes in switching that finger. 3, 2, and now we're going to replace 1, 2, 4, not 1, 2, 3. All right, so I'll just give you a moment here to make sure that you're trying that in your right hand and in your left hand. So just looking at measure 21 here, the last measure on that top line. 3, 2, 1, 2, 4, 2, 1, and try the same thing with your left hand. You might find it a little bit more challenging, perhaps, with your left hand. To start on 3 and then move to 4. Now, sure, in a real piece scenario, there might be a reason to play them all with 4, or less of a reason to play it all with 3. That's kind of an awkward reach. But we want your fingers to be able to do lots of different combinations. So the switching of the fingers here is an important skill to develop. Notice too, once again, my hand isn't moving, right? My hand's staying in the same place. Just my fingers are moving. All right? Yeah, I know. It's not easy. It took me a lot of years to be able to do this, right? So give yourself some grace. Can you do it with your left hand? My second finger was fuzzy here. I have to work on this. Now that might be enough of a workout for you, but we're going to go through the rest of this warm-up anyway, except for the last line. We'll save the last line for just a moment. We'll get there, but we'll save it, and we'll go through this whole 16th note part. What happens when you get to measure 22 on the beginning of the second line is your right hand starts that pattern, moving up the scale, exactly the same pattern, same fingering, but moving up the scale note by note. And as it gets to the beginning of measure 23, your left hand starts the same pattern from C. So they're not on the same notes, they're a tenth apart, but they're playing the same fingering pattern. Once again, the agility test here is in getting your hands to do the same thing and to make that complicated fingering switch at the same time, even when they're on different strings, right? So there is a certain amount of, there's a difficulty factor here. And you may find one hand at a time is difficult enough, but if you can get both hands going, good for you. So we're going to do these measures starting measure 21, last measure on the top of the page, and going all the way through the second line and the third line. We'll get to the last line in a minute, but let's go through these 16th notes and see how we do. We're going to go quite slowly, the same kind of tempo we were just doing. So this is even a little slower than we were going before. So 3, two. Okay, so that's going to be 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2. We start our way up the scale, 3 and 4, and left hand joins, 1 and 2. Yes? Okay. Congratulations on however much you did of that, because this is a challenging pattern. Do your best to stay relaxed. Place your fingers, close your fingers, and you're doing fine. All right, let's do it one more time again from measure 21. Last measure, top of the page. Here we go. I'm going to get my left hand already on the strings just because. 4 and. So 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 that probably feels pretty good to you. I mean, that's it's challenging. And if you want to work on it more slowly, that's great. With just one hand is fine. You can do the hands in octaves as well. but it's just a little harder to place that left-hand thumb. But you can do that if that works better for you. But it's kind of pretty, isn't it? It has a pretty little sound to it. Just very gentle, pretty sound. All right, should we tackle that last line? I think so. So here we go. Let me just show you what this is. This is, if you're good with your 3-finger arpeggios and your 1-hand arpeggios, this won't be too challenging for you. It looks worse than it is. All it is a C chord, C-E-G. But we're going to start in the right hand up on an E. And if these were chord groupings, not arpeggio groupings, it would look and sound like this. Those 3 fingers, then C, G, E from the top, then these 4, C, E, G, C, right? Going up, then G, C, E, C, E, G. Then this one's a little funky, E, G, E, C. So the right hand line by itself, okay. Simple in concept, not so simple in execution. Let's go just a little bit more slowly. About this speed, note, just right hand, okay? Ready, go. E, C, G, C, G, E, C, G, E, C, G, C, E, C, E, G, E, G, E, C. Once again, making your placing as clean as you can, placing each group when you get to it, you know, closing your fingers, staying relaxed. Did I forget something? Oh yeah, you can smile. Okay, here we go. Measure 27 this is the last line, just right hand. One more time. Ready? Go. E, C, G. Kind of nice. Once more, right hand. Ready? Go. There you go. All right, let's look at the left hand there, huh? Left hand's the same idea, and it's the same fingering until the last beat, but it's the same fingering. It just starts on a different note again. This time it starts on the C, goes to the G, goes to the E, E, C, G, then E. I know, it's kind of low. Then the G, C, E. Then watch these 4 fingers going up. C, E, G, C. Left hand, okay, left hand all by itself. Ready? Go. C, G, E, G, E, C, E, C, G, E, G, C, G. Oops, and buttons. And then straight up. And left hand by itself once more. Ready? Go. If you're feeling brave, let's do it hands together. If you don't feel brave enough to do it hands together, you just pick one of those hands and do it. But if you do, go right along with me. So that last line again, ready, go. There you go. All right, now, take just a breather for just a moment. I will let you know that I don't spend this long just warming up. And I wouldn't really expect you to either, but I'm taking extra time here to show you these patterns, to show you what's here, and to walk you through some things that you might not be familiar with, and to make sure you understand what's important about what you're doing. So I wouldn't expect you to spend 45 minutes on a warm-up, but this warm-up all on its own will only take you a minute to do if you do it all, right? So I thought that we would, I've got some time here for some questions, but before we do that, I'm going to play the entire warm-up front to back, and I'd love you to play along with me if you feel like it. I'm going to put the metronome on, oh, wait, not that. Did something not good. I'm going to put the metronome on 48 to the quarter. So, wait, I got a question here. Hang on a second. Jackie says, bar 27, left hand last grouping. Yes, 4-2-1. Exactly the same as the right hand. Exactly the same as the right hand, 4-2-1. It looks like it could be 4-3-1, and if you use 4-3-1, I wouldn't object, but the easy thing is to do the same fingering as the right hand. If you like 4-3-1, I'm totally cool with that. And it makes sense with what you're doing, but it may not make as much sense for you hands together. So that would be my thinking. Okay. And I like the little thumbs up. Okay. That's a good harp thing, thumbs up, isn't it? All right. So here's the, try not to make them too nice. I have mine set at 48 at the moment. And we're going to play this whole thing through beginning to end. Do as much of it as you can with me. One hand dropping out, coming in when you can, whatever. But we're just going to go beginning to end. Now, just a warning, that quarter note tempo means that we're going to be playing. So that's going to be our 16ths, and it means those last couple bars, right? They're going to be going faster than we went before. Just a little bit of a warning there. Okay, from the beginning, are you ready? Very, very beginning. Right hand, ready, go. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. Now hands together. 1, if you can. 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 2, and roll it. 4. 2, 4. 2, 4. 2, 4. 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, And there you go. There you have it. The whole thing. Okay. All right. Okay. So, okay. Oh, Marilyn says she can't find the warm-up sheet. She missed it. All right. Let me tell you a little bit about the warm-up sheet. First of all, you should have been able to find it on this page right here. Okay, it should be there. You will, we are putting together one entire web page that'll show you where to get all the PDFs and all the videos for all of these warm-ups. So that will be available for you pretty soon. But in the meantime, you can get this warm-up right here. Last week's warm-up you can still find on YouTube. So that's all there along with the PDF. So all should be there for you. Should be easy to get. That's the idea. We want to make this easy for you to get. So thank you all for being here with me. Do you know that I was sort of watching as we went along. We had 70 people on this call, just about almost, I think it was 69 people on this call. So that was the community that you were with. So I know it felt like me and you just in our own little spaces, but it wasn't. You were here with a big community, and the community is really important. This is not, on our My Heart Mastery calls, they're a little bit different because we get to see each other and we get to really see who's here. And in this format, I can't do that. I did want to tell you that, thank you so much you are so welcome. She says, thank you so much for offering these warm-ups. What a great resource and exactly what I need right now. Yeah, well, you're very welcome. I'm hoping that they're a great resource for you. I know that this is the kind of thing that we need to keep ourselves going. I will, remind you, if you're not a My Heart Mastery member, one of the things that we did with that community to help, just bring everybody together and give everybody a shot at staying connected, is to offer a month free membership, no strings, no subscription, no credit card, no nothing, just a free month membership. And that offer is available only until, I think, Tuesday, the 31st. So if you're not a My Heart Mastery member and you would love to try it, this is not the link I wanted you to go to. Hang on just a second and I'll get it. It was just not where I wanted you to go. This is the place that you need to go. It's no fun if I send you to the wrong place, right? But, these are the calls that we do. We do these every week, and we give, not just a warm-up, but we go through all different kinds of stuff. So, and my members, for those of you who are here, we have a special surprise coming on our call this Monday. So we'll be there. So I'm working on that for you. We'll do something a little fun on our call. But if you're interested in that free offer, do take advantage of it, because I want you to still feel connected. This is a tricky time, and the Harp community needs to stand strong and support each other in this time. So thank you so much for being here. Maris says the warm-up vids are so helpful. I'm so great. Doreen says, thank you, from Doreen in Newfoundland. Oh, such fun. Well, thank you. I think it's kind of fun too. All right, I'm going to let you all go. Thank you for spending some of your Friday morning with me. And Carol says, a nice warm-up, and unfortunately helps me stall on my theory homework. But there's a lot of theory stuff in here you can apply, right, Carol? Okay, you are welcome, everybody. Have a wonderful, wonderful rest of your day. And I look forward to seeing you either on one of our Monday calls or on the Tuesday Facebook Live or next Friday for another one of these warm-ups or sometime before. So do check in, say hello. I'm finally back on track and not working on out of my little sick bed anymore. So I'm getting there, and I will talk to you all very, very soon. Have a great day. See you soon. Bye.